Hey everyone, thank you for checking in. Please let me know if you're watching this live or if it's a replay. This is my favorite subject, and I get super passionate about this. Why? Because it's been my journey, which is why I wrote this entire book, is to really get people um, to understand that why we're here. What is this thing called life, and what is the meaning of it all? And that is what we're going to be talking about tonight. Because what do you think? What is the thing that motivates us more than anything else? And this is really, really important to understand this, because so many people come up and say, well, know your why. And yes, that does have some impact for sure. But it's child's play compared to what it is that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. And you'll want to stay till the end, because going through this, there's some things that I need to share in a way that prepares you for what I will be revealing at the end. So I encourage you to stay here till the end. And if you haven't got a pen or paper yet, I would encourage you to get a pen and paper. Also, let us know where you're checking in from, and if you're watching this live or a replay, that would also be great. So why is this my favorite subject? The reason it's my favorite subject is because it totally aligns with what my purpose statement is. And my purpose statement is to use my passion and my creativity to empower others to live to their fullest potential. And what does it mean for you to live in your fullest potential? And potential is the actualization of possibility, right? Like, I've created an entire course from the potential code. I've created a whole course on teaching people how to step in their fullest potential in the different domains of their life. Good evening, North Carolina. Glad you're here. So, what does it mean to live to your fullest potential? Right now, the way like the evidence to reveal to you what that can look like is, if it has been done, then it is definitely possible, right? Like, we can no longer say that we haven't been to the moon. Of course, some people think different, and whatever, we can have a conversation about that, right? But when we start understanding that there are 15-year-olds on YouTube that are making seven figures a month, then it means it's possible, right? And so once we understand what is possible, then we have to do is start figuring out what is it that's standing in the way from keeping us of creating the same thing, right? And this is why I've studied potential for over 30 years, is really looking at, well, I had to study potential, because I potentially almost killed myself and my sister in a car accident for me drinking and driving, right? And so that's running your life into the ground, and that's where I started really looking at, wow, how I show up in this world impacts other people. Before that, I didn't even have the capacity or capability for me to understand that there are consequences for my choices that extend way beyond who I am. And so I want you to think about, what is it that really drives you once you start figuring out what your purpose is, right? Like, I share what my purpose was, but see, I didn't realize this until I did the potential code. And I was actually, I think it was one of the last sessions I did, and that's like, that course took me 6 months to teach that course. It's a beast. Actually, it was about 9 months to finally put it all together. But at the end of it, I recognized, here I just created a course called the Potential Code. I got a book called the Map to Your Fullest Potential. Got a podcast called the Potential Zone Show. Everything I'm doing is around potential. And then it hit me. I created that purpose statement over 15 years ago, and didn't even realize what it had set into tension, what it had initiated within myself. So that's why I want to share with all of you, understanding, once you put a purpose statement out there, then you start recognizing, where is your default setting? Like, where is it that you get to come back to in order for you to put energy into it? Because if we take our eye off the obstacle, all we're going to see is the distractions. If we take our eye off what it is that we truly want to create in this life, all we're going to see is the things that have kept us from creating that, right? Like, understand, there are there are energies out there that do not want to see you win. There are vibrations out there that do not want to see you win. There are people out there that don't want to see you win, because you winning, then they're going to have to make sense of why they're still at the level that they're at, and you had transcended it. There are people that are very, very invested into you playing small, because you playing at the level that they're familiar with you at, then that's not going to challenge who they are, right? So the more you get clear about what it is that you truly want to create in your life, the more unstoppable you become. So what is it that really motivates people? What is the deep, deep, deep drivers? And I'm really excited about this because I'm going to be teaching this. Let me turn this on for those of you who are jumping on here, because like this is mission critical. Like if you haven't signed up for the ROI Accelerator Challenge yet, like this is changing people's lives at an extraordinary level. And this is why I keep talking about it, is because it's really, really that important for you to understand that there are things that are going on in your subconscious that is literally driving your life. And if you don't understand what those things are, then that's fair to say, I submit to you that what is running your life, what is really running your life. And it's really important to get clear about this, because once you understand what is running your life and you get into touch with what is it that created the internal programs and understand how you can be the very thing that changes your internal program, then you can design strategies that are aligned and congruent with what it is that you want to create. Because understand, friend, your life is perfectly designed to get the results it's getting, whatever those results are, right? And I say that whatever those results are very intentionally, because see, most people judge the parts of you that created what has created in your life. Your life is perfectly designed to get the results that it's getting. All you need to do is start looking at what were the decisions that I made that ended up creating and where I'm at now, right? And then looking at, this is the part that's super, super important. Every single decision you make is literally clarifying what you valued at, listen to what I'm saying very carefully, at the moment that you made the decision. Okay. Now, when you made the decision, you obviously are not, you are not at the level of understanding that you are at now. So why are you judging decisions that you made with the level of understanding that you had at that time? Right? Like you having a child for the very first time, you didn't know what it was like to have a child the very first time you had a child. You have the child. Now, when you have your second child, there's things that you learned that you didn't know the first time, right? So why would you beat yourself up over things that you didn't know at that time? This is called progression, right? And so the more you can look at this and see what was it that I really valued when I made decisions that I wish I hadn't made, right? But when you understand, what if every single decision you made was necessary for you to become the person that you're at, and wherever you're at right now, and whatever parts of your life that you wish would be different is all part of the progression of who you get to be. Like, what if everything's happening exactly the way it's supposed to be happening and you learning to trust the process? Because it is what we resist that impacts our ability to accelerate in our lives at whatever level that means to you, right? So if you are judging and wishing something was different, then you are coming up against things that are causing resistance in your life, right? So what is your greatest asset? This is your greatest asset. This is the thing that you've invested every single moment of your life with, and that is your story, right? Like me, this is where I come alive, is because it gave meaning to everything that I've gone through in my life, right? Like literally turning my pain into my purpose was the most liberating thing that I've ever experienced in my life. Like I've been able to go back and look at all the experiences that I've had, things that I've created, things that were happening to me, like all of that, and understand that this is what is synthesized for me to become the person where I am today, where I'm able to support other people and unleashing their greatness, right? It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you sell RVs. It doesn't matter if you are a stay-at-home mom. It doesn't matter if you're a librarian. It doesn't matter what it is that you do for a vocation. What matters is you valuing the story that has got you to where you're at right now. Because so when I say make impact in people's lives, that doesn't mean impact doesn't have to do with quantity. It has to do with quality, right? And you could literally have a conversation with one person. Like I've had this happen. I can't tell you how many times, but you could have a conversation with one person, and because you value your story, you might share something with this person that, because of you sharing your story, gave them hope and gave them an insight that literally was the catalyst that changed the whole direction of their life. Now, that person might take that very thing and turn it into an opportunity that ends up changing hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people's lives. We never know. We do not know how we impact other people's lives. Okay. Case in point, I'm going to share this with you. Like I'm going to get really, really, really vulnerable here with you. And the reason I can be vulnerable with you is the very reason why you want to sign up for the ROI Accelerator Challenge, because I have done I have transcended the things that has held me back on so many levels. That doesn't mean that I'm done. It just means that I have been able to transcend the things that has held me back, that allowed guilt and shame to paralyze me, right? Like me writing this book was a journey in itself. And I didn't even think about how many people that car impact or that car wreck impacted until I started writing that book and going, holy crap, what if people, who's going to read this? And what if my family starts reading and all that stuff? So all this subconscious stuff started coming up, right? So me learning, like one of the biggest things, I had this happen. It was probably 3, 4 years ago. I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, but I was at this training, getting another certification, learning another strategy technique to support people in transcending their things that hold them back. And there was a group of us, there were 3 or 4 of us that decided to go get lunch. And I was sitting in front because I'm taller, and you just get, that's one of the benefits of being taller. And I was sitting next to the driver, and we're driving, and she goes, so what's your story? What is it that's got you on this journey? And, how did you come into being a coach and all that stuff? And then I told her, I said, well, when I was 19 years old, I had a car accident where I was drunk, and I almost ended my sister's life and my own life. And that's what it took to get me to wake up and begin to see that the way I was living my life, it was guaranteed that I was like, my car accident was my greatest failure. Right. And I looked at her, and she was white, ghost white. I mean, you could literally see the perspiration start forming on her. Like, she just got really clammy. And I'm like, are you okay? I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, I just need to really pull back, because your story just really, really triggered something within me. And I could tell it triggered her big time. And she goes, we'll talk about it later. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I just changed the subject, and we carried on for the next 2 days. We went out for dinner and stuff like that. And then when the training was over, I said to her, I said, okay, let's go out and have a conversation. And I said, what was it in my story that triggered you like it did? And I said, I'm not going to have any judgment, whatever. I really believe that this is an opportunity for you to reveal what you've been carrying. And she said, when I was 16 years old, I had an eating disorder. And I was learning how to drive. And so my mom was sitting up front, I was driving, and my brother was asleep in the back of this car. That was in a little station wagon, I believe. And in the very back of it, there was a cooler full of sodas, like Tab soda. I don't know if anybody remembers Tab soda or not, but she said that's what was going. That's how everything was set up. And I'm driving down the road, and while my brother was sleeping, my mom reached around and reached behind my brother to get a Tab. Well, while she was reaching back there, I had a cookie stashed underneath the seat. So I reached under and I grabbed that cookie. And when I did, I lost control of the car. And her car went across the highway and slammed into a pole, and it killed her brother. And that blew me away on a level that was like unbelievable. And she was able to release all kinds of guilt, all kinds of shame that she had around that. And why? Because I shared my story. Right. And when I was driving home that night, it was up in Sacramento, so it was about 3 hours drive for me when I was coming home. It just landed for me what had actually just happened. And I just broke down. I was super emotional. I was just going, if there's nothing else that happens in my life, then I just understood why I went through everything that I went through, so that I was able to be the person that shared in a way that unlocked something within this person that set her free. That's the power of your story. Your story is your greatest asset. And see, I've invested hundreds, many 6 figures on me learning how to tell my story and being able to give people permission to step into their greatness. Like, I have worked with clients that have had abortions. I have worked with clients that have had things happen, humiliating experiences that would make most people cringe, and liberated them from that, because I was my first client, and me transcending everything that I've transcended is giving people the permission to do the same thing for them. right? So in the ROI Accelerator Challenge, what the R stands for is to remember. Like you remembering who you were before you were conditioned by all these experiences that has kept you playing at the level that you played at. And there's no judgment in it, right? Like our lives are perfectly designed to get the results that it's getting, right? The O is for you to optimize every domain, every area of your life so that it's aligned and congruent with your truest, highest purpose, right? Then the I is to be able to influence yourself so that you can keep yourself in higher vibrations and move through all of the thresholds that you get to move through when you grow, right? Like this is the jam. Like for anybody that's going to tell you like, oh, this is easy and it's going to be fun and pleasant, blah, 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 and you're not going to experience any uncomfortableness is absolutely feeding you a crock, right? Because anytime you grow, this is what's required. Anytime you grow, this is a requirement. You're going to have to let parts of you die. You are going to have to let parts of you die, right? But if you don't understand that, when you start expanding, you're stepping into this uncomfortableness and you're like, oh my gosh, right? And the reason this is so important is because sudden growth syndrome is real. Like this is why 85% of lottery winners file bankruptcy within 5 years of winning the lottery. This is why 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the 5 years is because the expansion rate exceeds their ability to adapt and to overcome and to move through the things that is required for people to move through to create what it is that they want to create. So this is why I created the ROI Accelerator Challenge. I used to train for network marketing companies and I seen over and over and over and over, people had freaking, I say that word very intentionally, had insane potential. Like I looked at them and just going, this makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, how come you're not making things happen the way I believe and see what's possible for you? So this is where I started studying more and more and more and more and understanding that some of our biggest fears, are the very things that keep us from letting that go and stepping into our courage. Friends, understand that you cannot have courage without fear. You cannot. If you do not have fear, you do not have courage, right? Courage is the ability to move through the fear, right? Courage is being able to face the things that have kept you playing at the level that you've been playing at and moving through that, not going around it, but going through it so that you can become the more expanded version of who you are, right? There's something inside of you that wants to come out and play, right? But what ends up happening is because we've had these experiences in our lives, we don't want to re-experience what we experienced back there, right? But what if you start understanding that these are parts of you and that these parts of you still have narratives that they've created that are not true anymore, right? Like most of these experiences we had were as children, right? And there's parts of us that make us believe that they still think that we're children, that we're not capable of stepping into our greatness and that we're adults and that we can show up and support ourselves the way we need to be supported, right? So that they will do everything they can to keep us playing at the level that we've been playing at, right? In the ROI Accelerator Challenge, I teach you where the different levels are at. I teach you the voices of what it is going to look like, right? I share with you how to take your message and monetize it, how to create high ticket offers, right? Because you learn, like, what is wealth? Wealth is you being able to collapse time, right? The thing that you want to do, like I tell people, is like, cool. If you make $40,000 a year, how much is it going to take you to make $1 million? If you make $40,000 a year, it's going to take you 25 years to make $1 million. That doesn't make you a millionaire, right? But the strategies that I show people is literally you can collapse time. And what if I show you how to do things and take what it is your greatness and take your story and turn it around so that you could make a potentially, ostensibly, possibly make $1 million within 3 years? Guess what you just did? You just bought back 22 years of your life. And once you've done it, then you have the evidence to understand that you can do it over and over and over and over, right? You cannot unbend what you've created, right? So that's what I'm teaching people in the ROI Accelerator Challenge. And some of the things that are being created in there are absolutely exceeded what I thought was possible. Like we have people in there that are doing amazing, amazing things, making decisions and changing patterns in their life that have crippled them all of their life, and they are stepping into their greatness. Right. So I encourage you to get over the ROIacceleratorchallenge.com, sign up, and signing up, I would encourage you to do the VIP, because in the VIP, you're going to get group coaching as we go through this. And you're going to meet some of the other people that have been going through this, that it's mind boggling. Like it's like, this is my jam. This is what I'm doing. I'm backing away from one-on-one coaching and getting more intentional about creating programs that support people in a way that I can leverage what it is that they want to create. So understand, my friend, your story is your greatest asset. And it can also be your greatest liability if you don't know how to use it and change the narrative that you have created around your story, right? Understand every single decision you make, every single decision you make. Well, first of all, I'd ask you this question. How many of your decisions did you just make automatically that you didn't even really think about what is it that I'm creating and making this decision, right? Like that's how most people show up in their life. That's how I showed up a big part of my life, right? But when you get clear about what it is that you want to create, then every single decision that you're going to make is going to support that or it's going to sabotage that. But until you get clear on what it is that you want to create, you're not even going to be able to have that level of discernment of figuring out whether this decision is lined with it or not, right? Clarity is power. Clarity is power. And once you have the clarity, then you're going to be able to take your energy and focus it. Your focus is your life force, right? And when you're giving your life force, your focus to something that is taking you down, it literally can control you, right? Like we give people the power to kill. And to think otherwise is just being willfully ignorant, right? And I get it. Like I'm not judging anybody because I've done a lot of that, right? So I want to do everything I can to support you. So I would encourage you to get over to ROIacceleratorchallenge.com, sign up for it. You'll be glad you did. This is my baby. I want to share my baby with you. This is my baby because this is the best work that I've done. And this will be probably my 6th or 7th course that I've done. And the reason I'm doing it is because I've seen the things that have been missing, not missing, but I've doing the training that I've done. I've seen patterns in what keep people from standing in their greatness. Friends, there are tons and tons of programs out there. And the issue isn't the program. The issue is the inner programming. That's the issue. This is the thing that most of them won't tell you. It's not that they don't intentionally not tell you. They just teach you to train you to do something that they've done, but they don't understand how they were able to create what they created. If you keep installing software on top of your operating system, you're going to keep getting the same results. It's time for you to change your operating system. And that's what this ROI challenge is all about, is getting you to understand how it was created. What do you get to do in order to get it aligned and congruent with what it is that you want to create, and then go create it. Like you giving birth to your baby. My ROI Accelerator Challenge is my baby, and I've spent 56 years putting it together so that I could bring it to you. So this is undoubtedly the best work I've ever done. And you go look at the testimony, stuff like that. Like that's just a scratch of how many testimonies I already have. But I would love to be there to support you any way that I can and do what we can to make your life epic for 2023. 2020 was a great reset. Hindsight's 2020, and it taught us a lot about security. There is no such thing as security. The only security you can have is you trust in your ability to create whatever you need to create and be able to do what you need to do in order to sustain what the quality of life that you want to create, right? That is the ultimate security. That's the ultimate benefit, right? But we have been indoctrinated. We have been indoctrinated to believe that we need to work for somebody so that we have benefits and so that we have security. If anything 2020 taught us is security can be gone like that, just like that, right? And so I want to teach people how they can use their story to turn it into their greatest asset and make a bigger impact on this world. So if anybody's got any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I'll take a few minutes and take some questions if people have any. Otherwise, we'll just wrap this up, and I'll see you over at the ROI Accelerator Challenge. Again, I appreciate everybody's support. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable time with me. It means the world to me. It really does, because I know you'll never get it back, and I appreciate you taking the time and us coming together at this time here. So everybody, going. Any questions? Cool. Everybody have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Until then, be blessed and live like your life depends on it, because it does, my friend. Much love. Take care.